If you're anything like me, you are absolutely sick and tired of hearing all sorts of information about content. You're a business owner or you have an offer to sell and you understand that distribution is the key. Distribution is the thing that is going to get you to that next level. And you probably already have the understanding that building a personal brand is one of the biggest strengths that you're going to have in the next 5 to 10 years, especially when it comes to these offers. So today I'm going to be going over the art of contentology. And what contentology is just the study of content, and I just turn it into an art. My background is that I have a master's in aerospace engineering. So I took all of the stuff that I learned about data analysis and the way people think about design and the way people see character shapes and everything in cars. I used to work on the Range Rover and I brought it over to content, and I have an absolutely stacked portfolio. So the one that I'm going to go over today is Sam's year, where I took him from 197K to 179K, and we did more than 1 billion views in 6 months. We went from 197K all the way to close to 700K.
Bro,
we were
in
doing
no
some
time.
crazy numbers.
Like, what was that? Like fucking 7 months? Not even.
Yeah.
6 months. Dude, we were cracking mil view months over and over and over again. Dude, we did 1 billion views that year.
And just to show you some examples, one of our most viewed video was 112 million. We had videos consistently getting in the 20 mil, 50 mil mark, which is incredible. Here's his TikTok. He was 1.1 million on TikTok. And for those of you that are wondering about long form, we had our first 1.6 million view video and many others that just kept popping off. I know a little bit of something about content. The issue that he had was that he had blown up through a haircut, and he had blown up just by chance. And many of you are sat in the same position where you've had a video that pops off, you've had a video that's gone crazy, but now you're kind of like, I actually don't know what I need to be doing here. Like, do I keep doing the same video? How do I read the data? How do I keep getting the success? Or some of you have actually had videos blow up, but it's not got you your qualified ICP. I actually never touched the niche. I never touched the bio. I never touched posting times. You know, all the stuff that you keep hearing online. I never touched any of it because none of it makes a difference. And I actually did change a few things, which I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over the entire flow, and I'm going to go over exactly what I changed, the exact flow, the exact thing that you could take away that's going to absolutely 180 your entire personal brand. So the goal was never views. It was actually the right views. Like I said earlier, we wanted ideal ICP views because he also had a offer launch coming up. It was called LevGen Labs, and he had an offer launch coming up. So therefore, we need the right viewers. And at the time, he was at 207. He hired me and he was like, you know what? I feel stuck. I don't really know what I'm doing. And over the next 6 months, we just steadily climbed 300K, 377, 598, 645, 680. So as you can see, things were going extremely well. So the first thing that I could tell with Sam's brand, and many of you guys will be in the same position, so please take notes, is that he wasn't broken. It was just inconsistent. So much inconsistency. And I'm all about to end the video and just say, hey, just be consistent, guys. No, that's not the case. This is just part of data. And immediately I could see that he had no pocket. And when I mean pocket is like every person is good at a certain different thing in content, and you just know that that's their thing. They're just so good at that stuff. He doesn't know what his pocket was. There was no consistency. When he did blow up or when he did have a good performing video, he wasn't doubling down. And the worst of it all was like, because he thought, you know, I'm just like a creator. Why do I need to look into my data? Why do I need to look into my competitors or the market that I'm in? Like, first of all, he didn't know what market he was in, because a lot of the time you think, oh yeah, I need to be in the market where my ICP would be. So, you know, if you're a business owner that sells, I don't know, air fresheners, you're going to think that you want to be in the market of cars. But there's actually a certain type of people that own cars that also want air fresheners. Probably people who actually pride in the appearance of the car. They take pride in the way it looks. There could be a chauffeur service. That's now we're getting into the market. So I would much rather advertise to a chauffeur service than just car owners, because that is my pocket. I could then go and see and I can tailor it in. So he wasn't doing any of that. And what I've written over here is that he had views. I'm about to show you in a minute. He had a video that hit 1.2 million. However, the 86.6K video that followed after, all that told me was like that 14 swing is great news. However, the potential was, except he hit it by accident. And that is a great sign. So if any of you are sat in the position and you're like, I've had videos do well in the past, you know, above median. Essentially what median is if you put all your videos views in a row and you pick out the middle number, that is your average. It is not going to be the ones that you add them all up and you divide it by how many videos, because if you've had an outlier that got like 1 million views or 100K views, it will skew it. And then it'll make you think that every single video is just shite when it's not. So check the median. So what I'm seeing here, that's what that 14x swing is that I'm seeing, okay, where are we in relation to that median? But let me quickly show you. So as you can see here, we had a 1.2 million video, but just after it or just before it, 89K, 225, 140. So this fluctuation to us really showed, okay, there is potential here, but we need to look into why, and we start pulling patterns together. So number one, understand what median is, and number two, we want to start pulling patterns. So Contentology method is just 4 easy steps. There is nothing crazy about this, but number one, step one is research. You want to hunt the niche's outliers, you want to review internal data, and you want to profile the creator. Now, often, many of you probably heard this before, you want to hunt the niche's outliers. However, this isn't for the reason of, hey, I want to copy them, or I just want to rip them word for word, because then that's plagiarism. And even if you do blow up through that, you're always going to be known as the guy that was second, third, fourth, or you're going to be known as the guy who actually doesn't have any brain of his own, right? You don't want to be that business owner. You want to be a trendsetter. You want to be the one who moves first. But there's many ways that you can hunt for niche outliers, and one way is you can use your phone. So what you can do is you can go onto TikTok and just type in whatever niche you're in. So if you're in sales, you type in remote sales or high ticket closing, or if you are in the female CEO space, you would type in rich girl, soft girl, glam girl, boss girl CEO, and you would just look for videos that have gotten above 1 million views. And when you go and check their profile, it's also standing out from the rest of the videos, so that it's above the median views. You can calculate in your head roughly. But another software that you can use is something called sandcastles. So I can type in something like soft girl and it'll come up for all soft girl type of stuff. Or I could type in lifestyle and it will find videos that have gone above that 3x outlier mark in this one. So lifestyle, yeah, and then you just got to go through and just see what would appeal to you, what could you recreate, etc. And once you've found a video that you like, you want to use a template like this. So this is just something I mocked up together for the video, and essentially you want to create a 30-day grid, and you want to put the source in. So you paste in the link, you want to put the creator in the niche, you put all the data in. Most people, they say that the hook is only what you say. However, there are 5 different versions of a hook that go into a video. So you have the spoken hook, which is just like, hey, if you're earning 65K in corporate and wanting to replace your income, watch this video. That's just a spoken hook. Then you have what is on the screen. Then you have what format is it. It could be a green screen, it could be a split screen, it could be anything like that. And then the visual, the very first frame, what did they do? Did they put the camera down? Did they click their fingers? Did they clap to the camera? And then caption. Caption's probably the least important, but still put it in. And in here you put in your sort of idea on why did it hold your scroll? Why did you not scroll past it? And you just want to type in, she clicked her fingers and then said something really unique and contrasting that I hadn't heard before, and the format was super easy to follow. Something like that. And then psychological triggers. So this is where the gold is. So if there's only one part of the video I want you to take away, is start understanding each video's psychological triggers. So we have something called curiosity gap. Curiosity gap is like an open file in your brain. Your brain doesn't like not having them closed. Let's say I say, did you know why the sky looks blue to us? That is a curiosity gap, because like, why does it look blue? Aspirational status. A lot of times people will be sat in a Bugatti. FOMO. You are not going to believe the event that they're running this Sunday in your local hometown. That's FOMO. But you know the rest of them. And you just want to click, whatever it was, and why it worked, why this psychological trigger worked, and then how we can adapt it for X, your ICP. So I've just put John because it's the most common name, but this is essentially how you want to run through niche outliers. So now going back to the case study, this is why I'm hunting niche outliers. And then reviewing internal data is very much the same thing, is with that I'm going through the Instagram and I'm looking at videos that have popped off above the median. So just looking through now, my median I want to say is sitting around 200K, F1 mil. Ooh, okay, that's a nice one. 920K. Ooh, nice. Okay, let's put those two in my head. 800, 900. Now let me pull those 4 together, those videos, into a spreadsheet, and let me mark down all that data, literally what I just showed you on that Notion board, and mark down all the data, and then start pulling points together. Okay, so these videos, they had the same format, they had these 3 psychological triggers. Okay, I'm now piecing it together. Maybe next time when I make a video, let me touch on these 3 psychological triggers, and doesn't matter what the idea is, because it's touching on the same deeper pain point. And that is all you want to do. And then this is one of the most important parts of research, is you want to profile yourself. You want to profile what are your unique strengths. So there's a formula I like using, which is the way to tell whether a format's going to work for you. You can have a camera like this, like a vlog camera. There's loads of different formats. There's vlogs, there's talking head, there's interview, there's podcasts. You've seen them all. And the way you can see that if a format is going to be good for you is a simple equation. It's authenticity x leverage over effort. So however much authenticity you can build and how much leverage that certain format can give you, divided by how much effort it takes, will tell you whether you should do the format or not. So if you are not being very authentic, that means the leverage on it has to be super high and the effort has to be super low for it to still be a good format. But essentially, you want to find out what your strengths are. If you're better when you're in group settings, or you're better in calls with people, you're better speaking to someone one-on-one in real life than talking to a camera, then maybe I should capture that, put it online, rather than me talking to the camera direct and then putting that online. So that is just something that you need to profile. You need to see what you like. And the next step of that is that you now want to use the golden wheel. The golden wheel came from a guy that I used to get mentored by way back when. And he used to say to me, what is the difference between a wooden wheel and a golden wheel? And I said, oh, it's just gold. He goes, yeah, technically it's gold, but the real difference is nothing. There is no real fundamental difference between the wooden wheel, which works just as well as the golden wheel. They'll still get you to the end destination. However, if you're stuck on the side of a road and I came up to you and I offered you, would you want the wooden wheel or the golden wheel? You'll always choose the golden wheel. And that is just because it looks better and it seems better. And that is exactly what content is like. People are constantly scrolling through, and what you have to do is you have to present them with a golden wheel instead of a wooden wheel. And it's just another spin on don't reinvent the wheel. So when you find a winner, I want you to put it into that Notion doc, and I want you to look at it and go, okay, how can my ICP really resonate with this? How can I make this slightly better? Is it the way the hook is introduced, or is it the way the data or the way the information is relayed to the ICP? Is there something I can improve there? And that is how you are going to make that 2 to 3 times better. And it's just exactly what I did with Sam, where I'm seeing this video, okay, how to mute. The idea I got from that was from this one. Okay, people like it when there's an overlay of a before and after, and where he's kind of shirtless in the back, and piecing it all together. Okay, there's aspiration with he's in a high rise in Vancouver. Okay, cool. Then the video before this, it was like he was doing a little tutorial. Okay, bang. Can you see how I put multiple concepts together? And it's like every single one is feeding off those patterns. And number 3, you want to double down. You want to rinse the winner at volume. I would call this the rinse method. And what a lot of people do is that they think that they need to be coming up with something unique and different every single minute of the day or every single time they post. And that is just simply not the case. And when I found something that was winning, so I found this was winning, we went and did it again. Easy glow up hack with the eyebrows, we went and did it again. Car videos, we rinse those again and again. How to improve your jawline. It's just a twist on the same concept. But essentially what we were doing is when we found a winner, we just kept rinsing them over and over again. But number 4 is that you want to turn your views into your audience, into a parasocial relationship, into people that really are going to buy from you. And when you are someone who creates content that's a lot of value or a lot of tips and a lot of these are the best ways that you can do X, you become a curator rather than someone with a really strong personal brand. And what we were noticing is that yes, we were converting, but we could convert a lot faster and our comments could be a lot healthier. We could get a lot more people through the door, people who understand, know Sam. And that's really the end goal, because what we achieved was that if, for example, Meta somehow deleted his account, blocked him, said he was never allowed to use the account again, we'd be okay. He could create a new account and I can guarantee you he'd be at 650k followers within the end of the week, just because people really like his content. People love following it. So what next we started to do is that we started incorporating his personality, his backstory, and what makes him unique and different. We were putting stuff in Middle Eastern, fake Middle Eastern, because he's Iranian. So we wanted to put more of that in. And we weren't afraid of doing crazy and wild shit. This is a crazy video in terms of stats, and we were talking about don't move to Canada. We were talking about his personal beliefs and we were putting them into the video. We were keeping them at a 10% ratio compared to the rest, but we were bringing those in. And what we were realizing is that, wow, people really understood Sam. People were like, oh, I didn't know you were Middle Eastern. Oh, I didn't know you had this backstory. I didn't know you came from Iran when you were 3 years old. Oh, I didn't know you did this. Oh, I didn't know when, blah, blah, blah. And people started to feel as if they truly knew who they were getting content from across the screen, which is super powerful. And just to recap the 4 steps: competitor research, you want to hunt the niche outliers in the most boring spreadsheet alive. You then want to grab all the data, and you can use AI tools now, like one I've showed you. Only 2 metrics matter, and that's the shares and the skip rate. Shares are a reach lever. The more a video gets shared, the more people will see it, and therefore it just grows like a virus. Another one is just your own data, which is what internal data is. Every video, what you want to do is you want to go followers gained per 1,000 views. And what that is going to do is that the videos with the highest ratio are going to be your gold, are going to be the ones that you want to really, really hone in on. And then you want to make sure, this is the 3rd most important part of content, is that you just want to strip the friction so filming is fast. Lean creation will always be any super production, super crazy stuff, because the speed of your testing equals your speed of results. Meaning, if the quicker you are at testing something, the quicker you are going to get results. And the most boring spreadsheet I had at the time was I would put account followers, the viral video link, and then views, shares, skip rate, essentially what I showed you on the Notion. Essentially what ends up happening is that the swing, the random, it becomes a system. So this is actually an order of all these videos. So I seen that he had a video called Teaching My Girlfriend How to Donut, and it got 760k views. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. We tried it again, something about a cop, 231k views. And I'm like, okay, what most people would do is that they would just end the video right there. They would end trialing that version. They'd be like, oh no, I flopped. That is just it. But I was like, nah, there's no way it got an outlier once and then it didn't work again. So what my rules of thumb started to be is that you want to test something at least 6 to 7 times. What ended up happening? 50 million views. 112 million views. It was a winning concept. It's just we had to find the right idea. And the on-screen text is so important. As you can you see how there is a bit of curiosity here? There's zero curiosity here. Like, where did he come from? Like, okay, I don't really care. Can't believe the cops did this. People love cops, like when they do something on camera. So we were leveraging that. Same goes with here. He bought a 1-blade trimmer, and I was like, I want you to lean into our like weirdness and like what makes us different. And I was like, hey, just make a video about shaving one armpit or shaving your armpits as a man. Let's see what happens. And it's literally him with his armpit up, and he talks about the video. And then I was like, use the 1-blade trimmer, get a kiwi and banana, and do something with it. 712k views. I was like, okay, let's keep trying this. Keep trying this. Let's do the eyebrows. Let's start using the trim on different parts of our body. Let's do the eyebrows, but change the color. Do similar to this. Then I was like, okay, let's take this video. Let's do something weirder. Only shave one armpit and say, does it make a difference? 3 mil. And then he said something nuts. This was actually his own idea, whatever. And then we did another one where he's in the shower acting like as if he's scrubbing his ass. And it was talking about like hygiene tips, 20 mil. Same goes over here. We slowly take patterns from what's working. Okay, overlay, 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 before and after, before and after. Okay, bang, bang, 1 mil. Before and after, didn't do so well. Okay, must be just not a relevant idea. Go to the next one, 3 signs you're more attractive than you think. Okay, didn't do as well. Before and after, still pretty okay. But we kept trying it because actually it still works, right? We're still getting ICP views. And then we tried some random things here and there that did a mil. If there's anything that you want to take away from this video, just stay consistent, because when you start understanding that it is a long game, you stop like beating yourself down that you missed a day of posting or you missed a week of posting, because you realize you're in this for 6 months, you're in this for 2 years, you're in this for 5 years. This is the entire Contentology system that I have, that I ran with Sam. And if you are a creator or you're a founder and you want me to build this with you, you know, the actual system, the application is in the description. There's more information on that landing page too, but it'll take you straight to that page. Either way, go and do the boring, consistent thing, because that is the one that wins.